Hello everybody, I'm Corey Moore. Some of y'all know me, some of y'all don't, but I'm going to give you a little backstory on me and the things I do around here in Italy. These are my... So, three big things about me, things that I'm really big on. It's my passion, creativity, and my adventurous spirit. Those of you who've hung out with me on other occasions, y'all have seen different things. As y'all saw earlier, I'm a musician. Me and Dan play often together in the band. That's the stage over there. To give y'all a really good introduction of who I am, I'll give y'all sort of an explanation of where I come from. So, my family comes from the beach. My great-grandfather, he had this big plot of land that was right on the Pamlico Sound in North Carolina. And we would just take our boats out into the water. We go island hopping, island to island, and we just have a great time. Only issue is they sometimes drink too much, but it makes things interesting. So, 4th of July is one of those times when they normally drink too much. And this one time, we were out doing our fireworks, right? We were out in, my Meemaw has this little opening, like this little common area down where the water is. And this little grass area, people go down there and hang out. And we are doing these little fireworks, you know, little brown ones, the cheap one that you don't want to spend a lot of money on because you don't want to spend money on fireworks. And you're like, yeah, okay, that was cool. And then the next one. Well, we had a couple of those, and then some other guys from the neighborhood came down, and they're like shooting bottle rockets up, all these big explosions and stuff. But as you know what? We've had a couple beers. We've got some flying fireworks too. Well, as I said, we've got a boat that we take out, so our flying fireworks ended up being a flare gun. Flare guns aren't a great thing to bring to a grassy beach, because as we're shooting off these flare guns and lighting up the water, like, oh, that's so cool. One of the flares lands in the crabgrass and catches the entire beach on fire. Which is cool because we're by the water, but instead of using the water, they decide to pour whatever alcoholic drink they had in their cups at the time to put this fire out. So now this fire is like raging out and huge all over this, and my uncle decides to take off his shirt and just start beating it down, and it's not doing anything. His shirt catches on fire. He like throws it into the water, and we end up calling the fire department for this beachside fire. And that's just one event at a 4th of July. The second story I'm going to tell you about a 4th of July party is we were actually out island hopping from island to island. And we took our boat out there, and we parked it on we anchored it out on the ocean side. And everything was fine. The tide was going in, so we had time to keep the boat out there. And then a couple hours go by, and we look out there. My grandfather, he's always out there fishing. He's always been a big fisherman. And he was out there fishing all day, and we look out there, and he's like waving frantically. And I'm like, what is he standing on? Well, actually, the boat was sinking. It was 3/4 full of water. And so we almost lost our boat this day, and the current was so strong that we couldn't get out there to help him. And he's a 60-year-old man, and he's got like 2 cups trying to get all this water out and splash it out. And so we're like calling beach rescue to come get us. They're not understanding what we're talking about. And so we're just like, we need a towboat or something, or we're not going to make it home. And so we all swim out there, try to get out to the boat. We finally get to the boat. He pulls us in, and we're all just like throwing water out. We got to like push the boat out to the sea, but it's caught on the ground because it's too shallow now. And so we finally get it out, and he drives it off, and it drains naturally the way it's supposed to. And that is our second story of 4th of July. So if y'all hang out with me more often and you see that I'm a bit strange, it's because I come from a family that likes to set beaches on fire and sink boats when you drink too much. So that's just a little piece of my history. As I said earlier, I'm a musician. I actually have a small little busking street performing band that I actually go around Vicenza and play at different bars, sides of the street. But it's really cool. We've got 2 guitars. I play the ukulele, and a friend of mine plays what's called a cajon. It's a little box. It's about like this big, and it's a drum box. And you just beat on the box, and it makes the beat. And our whole idea behind it is to be able to like set it up within 5 minutes and then tear it down within 5 minutes, so we can get up and we can just go whenever we want to. It's super small, so we can fit in like random corners in any of the small bars, because y'all seen the bars here, they're like this big, so we can fit the drum in there, and that's about it. So the reason we do this band, oh, by the way, the band's name is Up Close and Naked, and we decided on this band name because me and Dan were practicing at his girlfriend's house, and it got like super hot. Italians like to be really hot. I'm not sure why, but we were like sweating profusely, so we just took our clothes off. Not completely. We still had some of it on, but we're just sitting there playing with our shirts off, and it's like, you know what? We should call our band Up Close and Naked. And I said, yeah, and we'll get rip-away tracksuits with like banana hammocks with American flags on them. It'll be the perfect thing. He's like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I said, okay, we won't do that. And so that's how we came up with the name Up Close and Naked. But the cool thing about it is whatever money we make, because we always set out the case, you know, to collect so people could throw money in as they're passing by, we always take that money and we give it to the various homeless people we see as we're walking on to our next places or heading home. And so we always push our proceeds forward. My wife Rebecca, y'all met her just a minute ago. We have 2 kids. They're both cats, except one of them's a Chihuahua. He hasn't figured out what it's like to be a dog yet. We've been trying to teach him, but he's not really doing too well. We got a cat named Milo, and we got a Chihuahua named Taco. Now, I know what you're thinking. Naming a Chihuahua Taco, that's kind of racist. Well, my stepfather is the one who named it, and he's from Panama, so I guess that makes it okay. Taco was actually a rescue dog. Someone had abandoned him. We think he came from a breeder, and the breeder didn't like that he had hip dysplasia, so he just tossed him out to the street, and he just showed up on our doorstep one day, and as soon as I came to meet Taco, we were instantly best friends. And that's how I have Taco, and then we got Milo a little bit later. And they just grew up together. They became best friends. They wrestle, they fight. Milo breaks them out of the gate all the time. I don't know how. These cats are crafty, but he doesn't do it as much now, because there was this one time at Fort Polk where Milo got out. He was a friendly cat, and there was this MP, this officer, that was parked at the playground that was by our house at that time. And he went up to like, hey, I'm Milo, come pet me. It's a cat thing to do. So the MP decides to just pick him up and throw him in his car and take him to the vet. So now my cat is a felon. He's been locked up in prison by the MPs. I had him bust him out, buy a microchip and a whole bunch of shots and stuff for him. And then I had to go pay my ticket. And of course the MP said that it was a failure to control my animal because it's a Siberian tiger, as he thinks. So that's our children, and it's probably the only children we'll have for a few more years. So just a couple things to sort of remember me by. I'm a big musician. I'm passionate about music, passionate about what I do with the music. As y'all saw, I'm creative. I do my best to be as creative as possible, and then I'm a very adventurous person because I come from alcoholics, and they're the coolest people ever. So I really hope y'all enjoyed my introduction, and hopefully see you next time.